Welcome to the High Rankings podcast, brought to you by Dispensary-Growth, the preeminent SEO agency for dispensaries. Each episode will dive into the world of search engine optimization for cannabis dispensaries. We'll discuss the latest strategies and tactics to help your dispensary rank higher on search engines and attract more patients and customers. So whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, join us as we explore how to maximize your online presence and stay ahead of the competition in the rapidly growing cannabis industry.
Hello. Welcome back. Episode 52 of our fantastic podcast. We are now in April, which, as we are recording this, we are now in April, which means the whole first quarter is already gone, which is insane. What do you think about it?
I think it's more wild that we've got 52 episodes under our belt.
Still going.
Anyway.
Not bad for a podcast I never wanted to be on.
Yeah, that you bitched and complained about you still bitch and complain about it.
But I've only missed one episode.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
And I don't know, was that when I was in England or was that when I was sick?
I think that was when you were sick. Maybe on the cruise.
No, I went to England 2 weeks, so I might have missed that one.
I think we recorded early. I think it's because you were sick. Anyway, the people love me. They don't really care about you. So anyway, what's new in your life, Kaz Potts?
Well, went on the boat on the weekend and have learned a fatal flaw with the new boat, which is it has no shade at the moment and sunny we went out on Easter Sunday and it was sunny. And even though I did spray myself, which I do all the time, so I'm not stupid, I did in fact get sunburned in a couple of areas. So I have told my husband he needs to order shades ASAP. I like the sun, don't get me wrong, but there was no respite from it. Like, it wasn't like, oh, I've been in the sun for long enough, now I'm going to move into the shade. Like, there was no respite from it, except under the T-top. So definitely need some shade, but it was very nice. I feel like we're getting into the season now where we'll be boating all the time. So I feel like we're getting there. So I'm very happy about that. Then the day before that, I went to a birthday party for a 6-year-old, which ordinarily I would not go to. I think we discussed this last week. Not a fan, just like bridal showers and baby showers. But the guy whose kid it was works with my husband and is really like, I don't know, he really likes it's a long story. Anyway, so we went and the whole family is from Guyana and everybody there was like basically family and they were the nicest people. Like, I knew I really liked the father of the kid because I've met him a couple of times and he's funny and I really enjoy him and he's very personable. But his wife is just beautiful and lovely. The whole family was like amazing. And his father-in-law was coming up to us and just like, make sure you make yourself at home and here's this and here's that. And like trying to get my husband to drink this like 12-year aged rum. And my husband had researched like what's the number one popular beer in Guyana and been able to find some. So we took some. So they were all like, oh, this is cool. Like, it was just everybody we spoke to, the whole family, everybody was just amazing. And the food was like phenomenal, out of this world. I feel like they have major influences from like India, particularly with their spices. They had this bread, I think it's called roti bread, which it's like, I don't really know how to explain it. It's basically like really thin, almost pancake, like, I don't know how to. The bread is phenomenal, but they stuff it full of this spice stuff, which is very like, reminds me of like Indian curry type spices. But then they also had like a chow mein, which is clearly like Chinese inspired. And then they had other food. So they get a lot of cultural influences in their food from a lot of places. But it was really cool. It was really fun. Had a great time there. And so that was Saturday and then Sunday. And then yesterday, a miracle was performed. Because, and no, I'm not talking about Jesus rising from the dead, because that would have been Sunday. I'm talking about, I'm finally getting my backsplash tile in my kitchen.
Oh.
Let us celebrate. Yeah, it kept getting put off, and I was getting more and more frustrated. And then finally, yesterday afternoon, the guy that does tile with my husband at their company came over and started on the kitchen tile. I'm hoping he's going to finish it today and then one more day of grouting and like caulking and that kind of stuff. And I hope we're done. So we finally have that. So there's that. I think that's it. Well, do I have anything else to tell you? I don't think so. What's new in your world?
So I'm not sick anymore. That's cool. Finally getting back into the gym, getting back into that routine. I do cardio in the morning and then I'll like lift at night. So it'd be good to get back into that. I'd be going to, so it's March Madness. Well, okay, it's early April, the time of recording, but we're going to an NC State meetup here in Denver and they get rowdy. So NC State is like the Cinderella story now. They have the lowest seed. I believe they are the lowest seed in the tournament. And they were not supposed to make it to the tournament at all. They beat Duke recently. I think they play Marquette next, but Duke is like the powerhouse, right? They beat Duke. And of course, it's a huge rivalry. And who did they play? They played, I never got into March Madness before, but just the fact that NC State made it this far has ruined. I can't imagine anybody outside of like NC State current players' parents had a bracket like still intact, like this far, because it's that far-fetched, but it has been a lot of fun. They get rowdy, and they're pretty big fans. So I'm going to the NCAA. I'm going to the Final Four this weekend. Again, we're recording the 2nd of April, but going to the Final Four this weekend in Phoenix. That will be very fun. Looking forward to that. Getting back on the bike, planning a bike trip with a buddy. We're thinking there's a place in Missouri called Walnut Shade. I think it's called Howler Bike Park. Is the bike park itself, but the city, the areas, I think it's called Walnut Shade. I can't remember. Anyway, looking at options for that. And yeah, just not being more active, just get my ass out and just being more active. I can't stand, I don't like sitting still. Like, I guess I'm a fidgety person just in general. So I just need to be active on a bike, playing hockey. I hate running, but I guess I would run if I had to. I ran during COVID. Just getting out, just being more active. So yeah, also trying to clean up my diet. I've been eating like a sewer rat lately. But so cleaning up that and, just getting healthier. But yeah, those meetups are fun. I mean, you get like 50 people there, in a bar, just screaming like crazy. One guy plays beer league hockey here. So we just kind of exchanging stories. And I was showing him pictures of just playing with like some of the retired NHLers here. It's like, holy shit, like you played with Joe Sakic? And I was like, yeah. Of course, he scored on me left and right, but it was still pretty cool to play against those guys. So we were just telling stories and everything. So yeah, it was fun. It was cool. It's just focus now, I guess, for the next couple of weeks is just get my ass in better shape.
Yeah, I feel you. So I did forget to mention that yesterday was my first PT session for my back, and my food is great. Like, I don't have to worry about my food. So it took me like a long time to like figure out food. And that's not to say that I don't still eat trash here and now, because I do. I'm not one of those people that subscribes to like, you can't eat this. I just think you got to figure out what works for you. And if you want the ice cream, eat the ice cream. You know what I mean? Because if you don't, you'll just be miserable and you'll never be able to stick to anything. So I believe I am down 70.
Whoa.
No, I'm down almost 70 pounds, something like that. I don't know. I don't know.
In what amount of time?
Since January of last year.
Whoa! Wow. Yeah. Well, I guess that makes sense because you never come to Colorado, so I haven't seen you in like.
I think the last time you saw a picture of me probably would have been. No, I did send you a picture because remember we were talking about how much weight I'd lost, I sent you. Yeah. So, and I did spend some of last year in the gym, but obviously I have a stupid back injury that flares up here and now. Well, anyway, finally went to the orthopedic doctor who told me I can't fix this. Let's do PT. So I had my first PT session yesterday. The thing is, when you lose like a lot of weight, even though I have been eating a lot of protein before you people come at me, and you don't work out alongside that, you just end up with like, you're flabby, if that makes sense. You're not toned because you're not toning.
You get kind of frail.
Well, I feel like my body's not strong, but not in a frail way. I feel it's not strong in terms of if my body was stronger, I feel like my back wouldn't flare as much. But I'm talking about like, because I was 70 pounds heavier, I had fat on me, right? So the fat's gone, but I need to tone. I have like my arms and legs desperately need toning because I've just got looseness.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
So, which again, like that's a good problem in as much as like health-wise, like I obviously am much more healthier because I've lost a lot of weight. So if the worst that comes out of that is having some flabby, loose skin, oh well, like I'm internally a lot healthier, right? But I want to tone. So now I have to figure out what I am allowed and what I'm not allowed to do in the gym to be able to tone, because I desperately want to get in the gym and tone. And I feel like I could do exercises in the gym that work well with what I'm having to do in PT in order to strengthen my body, if that makes sense. But I don't want to do things that are going to do the total opposite of what we're trying to do. So I'm with you on the gym. Like, I know I'm eating healthy. I know clearly it's working because I've lost a bunch of weight, but I don't feel strong, if that makes sense.
So I crashed last year on 4th of July. I tore my shoulder, broke my hand. I say cracked my shoulder blade. So I guess I broke my shoulder blade. Couldn't lift weights for like 4 months. Of course, I was doing PT during that time, and my PT guy would ask me, "How do you feel?" And again, I hadn't done any kind of resistance in months. And I told him like flat out, I feel like terrible. Like my arms had gotten all skinny, and I had the Bugs Bunny arms, like when he flexes and it like dips down. I felt like I had that. Like he goes, "How do you feel?" I was like, "Dude, I feel like a bag of milk. Like I feel fucking awful. I have like no definition at all. My arm, I had some before," but he started laughing. He goes, "I've been doing PT for like 12 years." He goes, "I've never heard bag of milk before."
And I think the thing is like they always say you can't spot reduce fat,
reduce, yeah.
But you can work on areas of your body to tone. And that's the difference.
Yeah.
So I have PT tomorrow. Again, I have to go twice a week for the next few weeks. So I have PT tomorrow. So I am going to check in with her tomorrow, and I'm going to be like, listen, I need to tone up. So something's got to give here.
I know what you mean. Yep.
It's annoying. But anyway, yeah, I'm with you on that.
What are we talking about?
That we were catching up, but your life is not very interesting. So I think
our topic of our episode,
Oops. We are talking about one of the metrics that can be used in SEO is like your ROI, your return on investment. Obviously, they're basically the most important one for our customers is going to be the bottom line in terms of profit. But we can do an ROI. We have a calculator that basically works out over the course of the last month, you paid X amount of money for our services. And in return, our services helped you make X amount. So we can work out your ROI. So this week's episode is basically our blueprint for that and how we can help you get a higher ROI for your dispensary SEO.
How would you crank up that revenue?
Spend more money. No, I'm kidding.
That e-commerce revenue, yeah. Especially now in like early April. Yeah, you have to pay us. I used to work with a sales guy right next to him, and he said, yeah, at the magazine, he's like, yeah, we're gonna make you a ton of money. You just have to give us a bunch of years first.
Who was that?
It was Dave, the mule.
Oh, yeah.
I died laughing. I died laughing the first time I heard that.
He definitely had away with words, though.
He's a little rascal.
He was interesting.
There's a way in Google Analytics, if wired properly for e-commerce, to tie into your menu, Jane, Mosaic, Dutchy, whatever it is, to track that. So we have the blueprint on how to maximize that. So, and for maximizing ROI for a dispensary, it'd be revenue from the organic channel, audience channel of the website. Yep. What components go into that? What components of SEO?
That we do specifically, we do local SEO, which is going to be like dispensary near me or best dispensary in Denver, Colorado, or blah, blah, something local. Then we have national SEO, which national, so anywhere in the country. And then we also have product SEO, which is, let's say, where can I find purple weed? Where can I find sativa? Where can I find insert type of product or specific strain or whatever it might be? So those are going to be your three: local, national, and product.
So like sour diesel near me, and then you would want a specific page to pop up on your dispensary. And then how all of this ties together as well. This is all a string that gets threaded at the very end. So like national SEO is like a little more, we should probably go into each one of them. National SEO is like more like broad in scope. I mean, SEO is SEO. Like fixing the brakes on a car is fixing the brakes, whether it's a Ford or a Toyota or what. Obviously, a Toyota is going to be a lot easier because they're better cars, but that's a different discussion. But SEO is SEO. So when agencies or website owners, whomever says national SEO, it's just more broad in scope. So like for a dispensary, it can be like, what is purple weed? Or like how to clean a bong, or how to get the smell of weed out of your car, or something like that. So something with high volume and a specific topic And typically they can be like a blog post answering a question. And that is to bring as many people within the target that you're aiming for to the website to increase the, not so much focus on conversions. I mean, they can be, but focus on domain authority and building up the reputation in the eyes of Google and getting lots and lots and lots of eyeballs to the website and getting keywords indexed or read onto your website from Google. So that like it pumps the tires of the website. And it is very, very important for a dispensary's website. And that's typically how you get, it's easier to get backlinks too. You can build a stronger backlink profile in that as well. And that ties into local SEO. How would you go into local SEO then? Like what would be the blueprint for local?
Well, that's going to be like your GMBs for sure, making sure that's up to date. So you get into the map pack, and then you're going to be using a lot of near me's or your town, state, town, both.
City, community, city. Yeah.
Yeah. And then also probably do a little bit of reverse engineering to figure out what your local competitors are doing. Local, like i.e. same area, same town, city. Find out what their popular keywords are and what they're ranking for and steal them. Well, steal their traffic for sure. Definitely would be doing that. Making sure that any reviews that are done on your Google listing, that you're interacting with them as best that you can, because, well, there's a whole episode we've done on this and why you need to do it, but you definitely need to make sure that you're keeping up with your reviews and that you're interacting with them as part of your local SEO. And obviously backlinks and yeah.
Okay. On the content side, so like you mentioned reverse engineering. How would you go about that? How would you look at like a competitor? Like, let's say there's a dispensary 4 blocks away. How would you look at them and what tool or tools, plural, would you use? Because you are very good at sleuthing. Or, well, you're just a creeper in general, but
no. So rude.
But not really a creeper, just like very, very good at investigating.
Listen, we went through something a few years ago that I'm not going to go into detail with, but what I did learn through that, in fact, was that there's not much that you can't find on the internet. There's not.
Yeah, that is, I mean, you basically did their job for them.
I pretty much did their job for them to the point that they offered me a job multiple times. But there's not much you can't find on the internet. Obviously, there's certain things that are protected, but even then, you can get like public record and information of, what is it? Freedom of Information Act. Like, there's not much you can't find. That's all I'm going to say. So yes, you can identify your competition in terms of locality by driving around the neighborhood and seeing who's there for sure. And then like me personally, I would be using SEMrush to identify how my competition is doing for SEO and find out what keywords they're ranking for, also using SEMrush, running a gap analysis, and basically try to steal their customers. I would also check out their website, see what they've got going on their website. I would judge the website severely because that's what I do. I'd be like, this is shit. Wait, this is a great idea. I would go into their blogs. I would see what, maybe they've got a silo on their website that for some reason we haven't even thought to do. I would go and look and see if they've got a community tab so I could get ideas of more community involvement. Yeah, I'd find their Instagram. I mean, we don't do social media in terms of like Instagram, Facebook, TikTok and all that. We personally don't handle that, but I would certainly look at that because you can also get ideas from that, which reminds me, this is so random, but I found a TikTok on something that I thought might be a good idea to try for one of our clients. This is literally, as I'm talking about this, literally prime example of how it works. The TikTok came up on my FYP and I was like, that's an interesting take. I'm going to save this. Was it a TikTok? Or it might have been a Reddit post. It was either TikTok. I think it was a Reddit post, actually, now I'm thinking about it. But a Reddit post came up and I was like, that's an interesting take on this. It's not something we would usually do for this client, but I'm wondering if it might work. So again, we don't advertise on Reddit. We don't run anybody's Reddit pages. We don't do anything social media like that. But sometimes through that, through looking at your competitors' social media, you can find ideas of things that you would never have thought about. And when I show you, you'll be like, oh yeah, never would have thought about that. It might work. It might not work. I don't know, but it was one of those things. So you've got to get to know your competition almost as well as you know yourself and your dispensary. in terms of your local market, because you need to identify what they're doing that's successful. And if you're not doing that, you need to emulate it. And if you are doing it, you need to ramp it up. So it's a bunch of different things, but definitely use SEMrush or Ahrefs to help you identify where their organic keywords are and what blog posts that they are doing that are getting a lot of traffic, if there's any, and then steal the ideas. Come up with your own keyword content outline and get it up on your page. So that's how I would handle my local competition.
We say SEO. I mean, if you're good, it's like playing poker with your card showing. You can literally just look at what everybody else is doing, and there's ways to find it. Exactly what you're saying. Like, it's public knowledge. Just go to sitemap and just click on the pages and see how they're interlinked and all that in a gap analysis. Yeah, that's key. Okay.
Yeah. But also remember, they're going to be doing the same to you. So
exactly. Yeah. Okay. So that's more local. Okay, cool. So GMB, proper category. And we have an episode all about GMBs as well, or Google Business Profiles.
Except they've changed the name and I don't remember the name now. So
Google Business Profile. Yeah. It's just force of habit. We say GMBs, Google Business Profile. So get found at the top of the map pack. That's where all the customers are. And optimizing GMBs. That's what.
Also, not to interrupt you, but what I've got to say is far more important.
But you did interrupt me.
That's fine. We talked about this in an episode about snippets. I would start trying to identify you getting a snippet onto the Google thing. I've been seeing a lot of AI automated things pop up on Google searches lately. And like, what was the last one I saw? Oh, I was driving my kid to school and we were talking about Da Vinci and Michelangelo. And I was like, David was done by Michelangelo. And she's like, was it? I thought it was Da Vinci. And I was like, no, Da Vinci was the dude in the circle. And so like we typed it in and it came up with like an AI generated thing, which had a snippet in it. So I also think go listen to our episode that we did on the snippets, because I am absolutely 100% seeing way more AI generated stuff and snippets lately. I've seen a lot more of them. So I definitely would say in terms of, I mean, it would work for national and obviously product as well, but I certainly would listen to that episode and maybe start working your way to seeing about getting a couple snippets out there as well.
Interesting. Okay, cool. I think that kind of covers it for local, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Product SEO. So like getting individual products from your menu found in your community and your city where you're located. So like Maui Wowie strain, that individual page found. So like, what would you say would be a couple key points on how to do that?
Honestly, same thing I just said about local. Outside of the fact that like proximity, I don't know that I would do a lot different. I would Google search Maui Wowie, see what came up, see whose website had come up at the top, find them on SEMrush, go find their website, go through their website. Honestly, almost the exact same thing. Obviously, you have to adjust your technique because you have to account for like what domain authority they have or how hard the keyword difficulty is and things like that. You will have to slightly adjust depending on the variance of that, but I wouldn't do much different. The only difference is that this obviously is specific to a product. But outside of that, I would still utilize a lot of the same techniques that I had done for local SEO.
Okay. And that's all to assume that you have, not you personally, Casbots, that the dispensary has the proper menu technology in order to get a product found individually on Google.
Well, yeah. If they haven't, then you don't need to worry about them anyway.
They're
not real competition at that point.
Yeah, you've got bigger problems than that. Okay.
So I'm saying, like, you got other things to worry about. Like, if that's the case, you need to start thinking about that. But for sure.
Okay, so on individual pages, using proper keywords, having an inventory, like a keyword inventory for a respective strain and pre-roll, and whatever product you want to be found, you should have proper keyword inventory and use them in your descriptions. Make sure the title and meta, this is very boring, and so just prep. So proper keywords and the city in the title tags and meta descriptions.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the bottom of the page, you should have a way, and it's doable, to all of your products in Denver, Colorado. And if you're located in Denver, you should have your GMB embedded on all of your product pages at the bottom of the page for Denver, Colorado. So it doesn't matter if it's a strain, concentrate, pre-roll, whatever it is, your Denver GMB should be embedded at the bottom of every one of those pages. And that is doable too. It's a global option generally in all menu providers.
Mm-hmm.
Have good quality images, compressed images, with the alt text, with the keyword, like the city.
Yeah.
And videos can help. I think depending on how it's hosted, it could slow it down, but I would test that with website speed, meaning test the speed with the video and test the speed without the video. I would go with the faster one. So it's most likely without a video. And then, of course, schema markup. Schema is like data of data about the product pages. And now we're good friends with the guys at Mosaic, and Mosaic takes care of most of that for you. So the easy thing is just to get Mosaic. Like, it's a great product, great people, and it takes care of most of that for you, because that is very time intensive on doing that, especially the keyword part. But the outcome of that is massive, and you can crush your competition by doing that.
Yep. I mean, we've been doing it particularly quite hardcore for one of our clients, and the payoff has been pretty dramatic, I would say, for them.
It's a pretty wild ROI. It's like over 40x, which is pretty cool. Something else that plays into product SEO, and we can probably, you have deep links, they're called, is if you're searching in Missouri and you search for pre-rolls, you should have a page all about pre-rolls, and a way that when you land on that page, you can just click a button that says buy pre-rolls now. And if you're in Kansas City, you click another button, and then you're at the Kansas City menu for pre-rolls. So that ties into user experience and UI. And that should be very easy with your menu technology. So that's a very long-winded answer of product SEO, but
which we also have an episode on, by the way.
Yes. And all of that comes together. You get local, you get national, and you get product. And when everything is tied together with the foundations of SEO, of technical, of backlinks, of content, that's when your website starts humming. And you have to keep going, because if you're at the top, you're going to have a target on your back. You start that proverbial snowball, but that's when your websites get cranking, and then where it's just like a full-time salesperson for you. But when you have those components going like that, that's when cool things happen.
But you have to focus on all three at the same time, if that makes sense. You can't just do one and be like, oh, I'm done with my local SEO, move on to my national SEO. No, you constantly need to be working on all of them at the same time.
Exactly. And they all tie together, like your city pages, if done correctly, like www.dispensary.com/Colorado/Denver.
Yeah.
That should tie into your product page. So product page would be www.dispensary.com/cannabis products or dispensary products/flower. Those can all tie together. So they're separate silos, but they tie together with page linking, which I think we have a podcast about. Do we have podcasts about page linking? I'm sure we do.
I believe we do. I'm actually looking at the list now. So page linking is going to be episode number 4. Then product SEO is going to be number 20. And there was something else what we just talked about, and I forgot what it was, but everything, so 4 and 20 are going to be super helpful to you in terms of what we just talked about. Oh, and the featured snippet episode is episode number 49, because we just did that recently. So those 3 are definitely worth a listen to, so you can hear my beautiful voice.
Anyway.
But those 3, I would definitely, if you haven't listened to them, definitely give them a listen, or go back and just refresh yourself on them, because they're super helpful.
And bottom line, do everything. Don't skip a specific arm of SEO, and don't rely on like a technology that just does a menu or anything like that. Because it's a component, but it's not the whole. It doesn't encompass everything for SEO. When you do it, you can get results. Again, we have one where it's like they give us $1, we give them back it's like $40, like $45. But it takes time to get there. But when it does, you can literally bury competitors in your area.
For sure. And more than one area. If you're a dispensary chain that has locations in more than one city or more than one state, you can bury your competition in multiple places all at the same time.
I think that about covers it, huh?
I think so. Yeah, that's about it. I'm just checking my notes real quick. But no, I think we've pretty much done that. Again, if you're starting out and this is new to you, definitely make sure you create your own roadmap of what you're intending to do, when you're intending to do it. Because once you've done that, you've got it on paper, it's a lot easier to spot any holes or any glaring mistakes. So definitely would recommend that. We do that for every single client that we have, and then we adapt that roadmap as we go along. But I would definitely recommend that. And that way you're making sure that you're hitting local, national, and your product SEO.
Bam. All right. Cool.
All right. It's getting hot here. Feels like 84, which is a fun time.
Well, you're also in Florida.
True. Oh, I did send you my dolphin video at the weekend, didn't I? I did.
Yeah, of course you did.
Yeah, I think that's it. That is it for this episode. Next week, we'll be back with another fun episode. I'm not sure what we're talking about yet, so I can't even give you like the precursor to that because I'm not sure. But we'll be back. In the meantime, you can find us on LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram. Please comment, like, subscribe, review, and give us any suggestions of anything you would like us to talk about or anybody you would like us to have as a guest on our podcast, because we do enjoy having guests. And whoever we have next time, my camera will be on and everyone can see my beautiful kitchen that we've been discussing for weeks on end at this point. Yeah, that's it. Until the next time, take care of yourselves, and we will be back next week.
Bye.
And that's a wrap for today's episode of the High Rankings podcast, brought to you by Dispensary-Growth, the preeminent SEO agency for dispensaries. Thank you for tuning in. We hope you found value in the insight and the tips we shared. If you did, please hit that subscribe button. And if you're feeling super generous, we would love it if you left us a review. If there's a specific topic you'd like us to cover in a future episode, or if you have any questions, you can go ahead and find us on LinkedIn or YouTube. We'll see you next time.